I hope you can hear me. We don't have a microphone. Can everyone hear back there? Okay, we've got a bell. My name's Craig. I'm Rob's son. I'm the middle child. He's 3. My brother Graham and my sister Tammy over there. Sorry, I've got 5 of them. So thank you all for coming and just to help us celebrate Rob's life. He was a big part of the Stockborough community for a long time. Obviously, he was a loving father, husband, grandfather, and he spent most of his life in Johannesburg, but the last 25 years, John?
Yeah, 25
years. Yeah, Rob loved his golf. He loved this club. He was chairman of the Sages, as you can see on the board, and played regularly. So good to see some of his golf friends here. And thanks for everyone who's come out. I think we just want to, I thank you all, but I think special thanks to George and Heather Clark, who've really gone above and beyond in helping in the last few weeks and months. So thank you for everything you two have done. And it's great to see a small but important gathering. Rob went to work as a 16-year-old in 1958, and I think maybe that was more the norm in those days. That happened, and he had to help support his sister and mother, and he did that without any complaint. He joined Barclays Bank, and I think he worked there his entire life. It was probably close to 50 years. 42 years, thank you. And he lived life honestly, decently, and he always had a twinkle in his eye and a slightly naughty streak, but he was an incredible traveller. He always wanted to see what was around the next corner. So when we go on road trips as kids on holiday or holidays, we didn't do, I suppose, our children these days expect holidays once a year. We probably did a holiday once every 2 years, once every 2.5 years. But when we went on these holidays, we'd go to Cape Town, wherever it was, and he'd have an itinerary, and it would be, we'd have to do this today, it's Table Mountain today, and we had to go Cape Point tomorrow, and we just wanted to go to the beach and check out girls, and he always wanted to go and see the next thing and find out something else, and that was how he lived life. And I'm sure later Joan will tell you when they travelled, he probably drove you nuts as well, and see this, we've got to go there, we've got to do that. And that was the way he lived life. He was curious. He introduced us to many things. To me, I'm a sports journalist today, and it really stems from Rob's love of sport, love of Manchester United. He bought me books. He bought me a book called The History of Football by Martin Tyler. He bought me a book called The 1980 Olympics Handbook, and this was pre-internet age, pre-satellite TV. I devoured these books and read them, and I became so interested in sports and the art of writing about sport and telling stories about sport that that's what I wanted to do, and it was all because of his influence and what he showed me as a young man, and he loved that side of it. And although we didn't agree on Manchester United, he gave me those lessons. So Robert Ray was a fantastic man and a fantastic grandfather, and we just had to celebrate his life today. So I'll do some more thanks and read out some more messages shortly, but I think it's appropriate now to ask Joni, his wife, to come say a few words.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes.
First of all, I want to thank you all for coming. And first of all, second of all, I just want to thank a few people. These people have just gone overboard. I cannot believe how kind people, even in our community, people I didn't know, they have just rushed forward to give assistance. And some of the special people who are here, sitting here today, is Graham. Graham has been my rock. And Trish, Craig, Jean-Luc, Tenzin, and the grandchildren. I have had so much support. And then, on top of that, I've been lucky enough to have neighbours called Heather St. George. And they are phenomenal. I just cannot, I can't thank them enough. So thank you very much for that. Now, your dad and I, Craig just said he's very adventurous and he likes to go places. We went overseas several times, and he doesn't take a map and look things, throws them away, and we drive. And then he says, we were in a place in Cornwall. He says, let's try this little road. And boom, we turned down that road. We came across the most beautiful little village. I don't know if any of you know it, it's called Clovelly. And it was such a charming place. And it wasn't on the map. So he used to do this often. We used to just go driving anywhere and find these magical places. So it was a pleasure to go on holiday with Rob because he didn't stop exploring. We also went to America, had holidays there. Casey, we drove across South Africa from east to west. So we had a lot of fun. His golf, he was passionate about his golf, and even when it was raining, cats and dogs, they still discussed on the phone, should we go and play golf? You know, and you couldn't even see 2 inches in front of you. So that's what those guys were like. When Rob went on pension, they had a special dinner with the directors of the bank. And while we were having lunch, while we were having lunch, we got a call to say we had a new grandson. And his name was Keegan. So straight from the lunch, we raced off to the hospital, and Rob was the first one to allow to hold that baby. So, you know, that was very special, I think. Sorry. I just wanted to say that Rob was my rock, my companion, my friend, my partner, my buddy. And he loved his grandchildren, every one of them. He played with them in the sea. Little Keegan, when he was a baby, he sat in the waves watching the sea, and Keegan was sitting in the water. And when we looked again, Keegan was fast asleep. He was having a good sleep in his granddad's lap in the sea. So I want to say to my darling Rob, may you rest in peace and sail away in the ship. I'm going to tell you about the ship just now. I would look forward to joining you on the ship, so we can sail away together. Now here's the ship. The ship. What is dying? I'm standing upon the seashore, and a ship is by my side and spreads her white sails to the morning breeze and starts out upon the ocean. She's an object of beauty and strength, and I stand and watch her until she hangs like a speck of white cloud just where the sea and sky come down to mingle with each other. Then someone at my side says, there she goes, there she's gone. Gone where? Gone from sight, that's all. She is just as large in mast, hull and spar as she was when she left my side. and just as able to bear the load of living freight to the place of destination. Her diminished size is in me, not her. And just at the moment when someone at my side said, "There, she's gone," there are other eyes watching her coming, and other souls taking up the glad shout, "There she comes," and that is dying.
Thanks, Joan, for those lovely words. And, yeah, it was beautiful. I'd like to read a tribute from Calvin, one of his grandchildren. He's in London and couldn't be here today. And I'm going to have to read this, so please excuse me looking down. It's hard to sum up a person's life in a 3-minute speech, especially a man whose life was filled with so many stories, experiences, and memories. I'm going to skip over the things we all knew about Grandad: a cricketing legend, a stickler for rules, a wise trivia master, a man of discipline, and a golf pro. I think that's been kind. His golf playing will help. Instead, I want to tell you about the Grandad I knew for 27 years. Grandad loved dressing up as Santa, delighting in the fact that we had no idea it was him. He would beam as we jumped with joy at the sight of Santa in shorts, only for us to recoil in horror moments later when Santa kissed Grand. If only Grandad knew. He always made time for us grandkids, whether it was surfing, teaching us golf, playing 30 seconds, or solving hidden secret games. He never forgot a birthday and always had a polite way of reminding us not to be lazy. For those lucky enough to experience the Bucky days, you'll remember the thrill and the occasional terror of dodging umbrellas, surfboards, and golf clubs as Grandad navigated the roads at impressive speed. A confident driver, no doubt, but I'm sure we all have a moment where we look back and think, how did I survive that? He was an incredibly wise man, always offering advice that made life's challenges seem simpler. He was a passionate United fan and a proud custodian of keeping two things he carried very deep with deep conviction. To his loving wife Joni, his beloved children Graham, Craig and Tamsin, his grandchildren Jean-Luc, Ethan, Ella, Oliver and Daniel, and his adopted grandchildren Ashton, Cody and Keegs, I'm sorry for your loss. The pain you are feeling is something I can only sympathize with. But we can take comfort in knowing that we have all shared so many incredible memories with Grandad. Memories that will stay with us for a lifetime. Grandad, I miss you. The big hole has been left behind. But I find comfort in knowing that my hero is still watching over me. I will always be a loyal United fan. Nobody's perfect. And I will carry on my love for trivia and wisdom, just as you did. Thank you for being the best grandfather a kid could ever ask for. Just like I once showed you which roads to take so we could get a milkshake, I hope you know that one day I'll find my way back to you, not just for a hug, but so you can take me to the best milkshake place. And when that day comes, we'll sit together and catch up on all the sports and quizzes we've missed. Miss you and love you always. Rest easy, Grandad. I'm Elmore. That's from Calvin. Love it. Thanks, Calvin. So while I pull myself together, maybe Tammy would like to come up and say a few words.
Thanks.
Timing is everything.
I don't have a lot to say. I kept it short and sweet in Rob Ray style because he would keep stuff sweet and short. But just something small, I'm also going to read it. To my daddy, an ever-present wise sounding board and no-nonsense approach that he was able to construe with a gentleness that you couldn't get angry with. The man who would always say, you can sit on my lap, it doesn't matter how big you get, even when I was 9 months pregnant. Strong, strict, but a soft spot for all the ladies in his life. I remember when I was a little girl, he would let me fall asleep lying with my head on his chest. His adventurous spirit and extreme joy at having fun with his children and grandchildren. In his younger days, the summer garden cricket, the tennis ball swimming pool skimming competitions in Farney Avenue, which Sammy the Cocker Spaniel always seemed to conquer. Dad, I will miss our afternoon tea visits and lengthy conversations. I know that Ethan, Ella, and Oliver have been so grateful to you for being such an awesome granddad. And they will forever miss you, as will I. All my love forever, your little book.
Thanks, Tim. I've got another message from Keegan, his other grandson. Keegan's also in London, is that right? Sure. Keegan is in London as well. Yeah, Keegan's also in London. Those boys making their way there, but this is his message. I'll always love and cherish every late night we spent watching Mr. Bean and playing 30 seconds. Granddad has taught me the value of being kind and a gentleman. On my last visit, he took me out on a day trip to pick up the most magnificent cake for Grand's birthday, and he planned the most amazing lunch for all of us. That's the kind of man I want to be, a man who finds so much joy in making others happy. I remember being overjoyed seeing Grand and Granddad at my gymnastics tournaments and at my school performances. Something about having them there just lights up the room. I'm so proud to call him my granddad. He will forever be my hero. And Rob was like that. He loved the achievements of his grandchildren in particular. And I think he quietly was happy when Graham and I did, and Tammy did something decent in our lives. And not always in trouble. And he had a mischievous streak, but those garden cricket days, he used to take us to the Wanderers when we were kids, before Tammy was old enough to go, and we'd pack sandwiches and we'd walk for, felt like forever because we parked so far away, but we'd walk, we'd go watch Graham Pollock bat, who was, I think, probably Rob's favourite sportsman outside of some of his Manchester United legends. And he told us stories about Pollock and Richards and all those great batters, and I was lucky to see the end of Graham Pollock's career as a little boy. He was a fantastic batter, and he took great joy in telling us stories about these things. But he told us great stories about so many things, about how things worked, about history. He was a great sort of amateur history buff in his own way. And he filled our lives with interest at a time when you couldn't just go on the internet and search anything. And I think, although he wasn't a formal storyteller, I think that aspect of his personality rubbed off on me, and that's how I became a journalist, wanting to tell stories. I've never really thought about it until recently, that maybe that's, maybe he was a frustrated journalist or author in some way. But how old do you know how to tell a story?
Sorry, may I interrupt? The sports trivia.
Yeah, well, that too. I mean, and Calvin mentioned the trivia, Keegan mentioned the trivia. Rob was a great sports trivia lover. And so I think inside he was a frustrated storyteller. But to tell more about him is Graham, his oldest son, and he'll give us his view.
Thanks, Greg. Just bear with me while I open this up and a little bit I've written. My dad was my hero, and he always will be. And now I've lost it. I'm not perfect. Sorry, Graham. That's the usual brother, So there we go.
No marks.
No marks for this one. Thank goodness, because I always fun to mention. So there we go. You
need to help.
So there we go. There we go. I'm sorry for reading this, but there's so many things in my mind. I've got to focus. A little ADHD, as my son is. You've got to focus and do things. What was Rob to me? He was my father, then my dad, and then later on, my old man. He was my hero, my greatest supporter, and critic. He was my guide and mentor. He was the safe harbor that I could return to when the seas got too rough. Yeah. Together we had adventures, World Cup cricket matches in the garden, Wimbledon grass tennis matches that he refereed between Craig and I. Tam mentioned pool skip cricket, Sammy the master fielder. English First Division, no, it wasn't Premier League, First division. All right. Seasons using marbles and an empty beer tray. Cardboard beer tray. I think we all know that game now. That was way before it became popular. We also have had World Championship dinky car challenges down the passage. Corgi cars down this long passage. And we would sit there and we'd eliminate them all as they went. So the more cars I bought, the longer it lasted. It was cool. All right. We built a electric track together that took over an entire garage that he created, that took over our entire garage for many years, much to Mom's displeasure. He was the most creative guy. He created ways for us to have fun. There wasn't money to throw around. He sent us to the school he could never finish his studies at, due to circumstances beyond a young boy's control, keeping boys high. Calvin mentioned that in his speech. There we learned discipline, self-control, accountability, and much more. To be a man that stands by his words and makes good when he fails. He was a man who made the hard decisions that we often never understood. He handled ups and downs with a smile on his face and a twinkle in his eye, never letting on about the turmoils and troubles in his life. He coached us in every sport and even learned about the ones he didn't know, water polo. Well, he ensured that we had a holiday, an adventure at the coast, at least every second year, as you said, Craig. He found his journey, a soulmate for life, a woman he loved so dearly. Together they built a life filled with travels and of around the world, a home in a tropical paradise that we could visit at will. Daddy, you are at rest now after a very good innings. Graham Pollock would be proud. You still moan about United's draw to Arsenal the day before you died. I hope you're playing football with your heroes from 1958. Those of you that don't know, it's a Munich disaster where most of the Manchester United side died. And they were his heroes. Ironically, that was the same year you started working for Barclays Bank, creating the life we now celebrate. Your legacy of hard work, discipline, and accountability, sprinkled with adventure and plenty of fun, was felt by your entire family, friends, colleagues, and golfing crew. Tam, Craig, and I will forever strive to instill these lessons into our grandchildren. Your grandchildren, my apologies. Not there yet. No, I haven't yet. Okay. Sorry, kids. It's 5 of you. Okay. Until we meet again, we will play the test match we call life, the way you taught us. Rest in peace, my old man.
Thanks, Graham. And everyone, I mean, that's it. This isn't a big formal occasion, just the way Rob would have liked it. If any of his grandchildren feels like saying anything, you're welcome. No pressure. And I guess that's a stern no from everyone. So please just grab a drink. There's a tab at the bar. There's going to be some food now. And let's all just stay for an hour and tell stories about Rob, talk to each other. Introduce yourself. I don't know if you're in the room, so I'll make an effort to come over and say hello and do the same to strangers in the room. Because one thing he could do was connect people. So yeah, it's a small gathering. Let's connect for half an hour. Thank you for coming.
Okay, go.
Can you all hear me? Yes. Grandad was of so many people, and he was a lot of things to many people. A husband, a father, a friend, a golf buddy, or even an angry customer. But to me, he was simply Grandad. My first memories of Grandad were of us sitting in front of the television watching Teletubbies on CBeebies. Now, in hindsight, the show really was quite disturbing. But it wasn't about that at all. It was about the quality time spent together with him. That was what made it special. Another one of the signature activities at Grandad's house was the outdated computer games that we used to play together. The sheer amount of time that we spent staring at that cluttered screen, trying to find the hidden objects, half of which I had absolutely no idea what they were because they were so old-fashioned, could not have been healthy at all. But it was fun regardless. Perhaps the most memorable moments with Grandad were spent in the kitchen. All of us grandkids crowded around the stove making flapjacks for afternoon tea on the patio. Of course, there was never enough tea nor flapjacks to accompany our long conversations, topics ranging from Man United's poor performance in their latest match and the league overall, to the origin of cell phones, which were more like portable bricks back in his day. All of these things made Grandad the man that he was, and the man that he will continue to be in our hearts. So today, let's honor him by not dwelling on the past, and well, we have to reflect on the past, but by just remembering the man that he was and all the good times that we spent with him. And this year, for those of you that don't know, I'm in matric, and I'm going to honor him by dedicating my matric year to him, since he didn't get to finish school, and taking the opportunity that he didn't have in seasons. Thank you.
Thanks. That's beautiful. I love that idea of dedication. That's really beautiful. I'd also just like to thank his grandson Jean-Luc and his fiancée Holly for putting together the yeah, that's fine. Just putting together the pictures and getting the live stream going, and you know, just helping out with so many things this week. A lot of people have stepped up, and I think we thank people individually. So, Joe, have I forgotten anyone off the top of your head? No. So please, yeah, there's some food. Let's have some food.